So, welcome students. In the section 1 of IMI class, we have seen that the need and significance of measurements and instruments. Why we are doing this measurement processes? What are the basic, importance of measuring instruments? How the measurement process is done, and also we are seen that if we are having the measuring instruments related with our electrical quantity are there, then what are the care should be taken so that it will be providing you the good results. Okay, so now if you talk about the measurement process and measuring instruments, where the instruments or we can say the devices are helping you to get the value, the number value of the unknown quantity. Now when we talk about the measurement process, it's all about comparing the unknown quantity with the standard known quantity. Okay, so and for that example we take the kilograms or any other physical unit which is related with the measuring of weight, mass, speed, time. Okay, these are the different quantities which we are considered as an example for measurement activity. But if we talk about the electrical parameters, the various electrical parameters will again play an important role in the process called as measurement. Okay, so in electrical we have current, voltage, power, energy, power factor, and there are many other parameters which we need to measure like frequency. Apart from that, for automation point of view, we need to measure the temperature, flow, speed, velocity, these all things. Okay, so I hope these all points are clear to you while we have discussed in the last two and a half month or maybe 1.5 month. So next we have seen the qualities of measurement process, that is measurements like sensitivity, accuracy, precision, stability, reliability. Now we see that accuracy is something which we look for in the measuring instrument, and sometimes we get confused between the accuracy and the precision. Say for example, if an instrument is showing a result or showing a reading which is repeated in nature for the same amount of unknown quantity which we are applying, then we should not say that the instrument is accurate. We can say that instrument is precise, or we can say that these all instruments are having their own construction and working principle, and as per the construction and the available elements in the instrument, they are creating a types or classification. So like we have the very basic phenomena of our instruments, from ranging from the absolute instruments or secondary instruments. And apart from that, if we talk about the instruments where you have some effects which are being used, say for example magnetic effect, if it is used, then in the magnetic effect we must know that the magnetic effect is created that way that there are two magnetic fields, and these two magnetic fields are interacting with each other. So one magnetic field can be created by say for example permanent magnet, and the another is created by the coil. Now, this magnetic field is proportional to the this particular magnetic field is proportional to the unknown quantity, and if the unknown quantity is compared with this magnetic field, the amount of torque which is produced on the pointer, or we can say the spindle also, where the spindle is attached to the pointer, then we will be getting the value of that unknown quantity with our calibrated scale. Okay, so calibrated scale and pointer play an important role. Now if we talk about the permanent magnet and its limitations, then we required both qualities. Okay, so like we have moving iron. Give me a moment. Okay, so now as we see that there is a moving coil and permanent magnet. So these are the elements, and according to that we have the classification of measuring instruments. Okay, now once these instruments are playing an important role in the measurement process, we also have some electrical circuit based comparison methods called as bridges, where bridge circuit, you must have seen the very first bridge, that is a Wheatstone bridge. And in the Wheatstone bridge we have seen how the bridge is balancing and how the balance condition will give you the quantity which is an unknown quantity in comparison with the some mathematical calculations. You will be getting this particular bridge, a very basic bridge circuit is giving you the result for the resistance, measurement of the resistance that we have seen. After that, in the measurement of resistance, we have types of the resistance, that is low, medium and high. This variation is there, so you can see that as per the type, as per the variation, you have different instrument for that. Say for example, if you talk about the medium resistance, the medium resistance can be measured with the help of, yes, Wheatstone bridge, and low resistance is measured by Kelvin double bridge. And if the high resistance is there, which we mostly see for the insulating material, then we will be using the ohm meter. So these all things we have seen. After that, it's about the AC quantities, where AC quantities is like inductance or capacitance, right? So also we can say that every inductor or capacitor has an inherent resistance in it. So as per the inherent resistance, you can see that there is a measuring instruments called as a Maxwell's bridge, Anderson's bridge, Charing bridge. So these all bridges will help you to get the value of inductance and capacitance. Okay, so it again has the measurement of inductance and capacitance include not only the dependency on resistance. So for example, if you are having a Wheatstone bridge, you can see that branches will have only the resistance, right? I hope you are remembering the circuit diagram of Wheatstone bridge. Okay, so now next one is measurement of power, energy and power factor. So we have seen the basic diagram of power triangle, and as per the power triangle you can see that there are two types of important power which we are considering, that is active power and reactive power. Okay, so active power and reactive power plays an important role in the in particular power system. Okay, so this particular power, if you talk about, it has only the it don't have basically the time component in it. But if you talk about the energy, energy is like power and time, both the components are there. So in the power we have only voltage and current and its multiplication, and as per its name, you can say, as per its position in the diagram, power triangle diagram, you can have the cos factor or sine factor. Say for example, if you are talking about the active power, then it's a cos component is in multiplication, and sine component in multiplication for your reactive power component. Okay, so let's see what are the different instruments we are going to see for measurement of power. One is that one, or wattmeter, basically wattmeter construction. So wattmeter is having the type of instrument called as a dynamometer type instrument. What is the word? Dynamometer type instruments. So dynamometer type instruments has two magnetic fields created by the coil only. तो मैग्नेटिक फील्ड विच मैग्नेटिक फील्ड जो है वो कौन बना रहा है, उसके अकॉर्डिंग भी उसके टाइप्स होते हैं. तो एक है परमानेंट मैग्नेट, दूसरा है मूविंग कॉइल, और तीसरा है आपका डायनामोमीटर टाइप. सो अकॉर्डिंगली दिस वैटमीटर which has a two components effectiveness, या फिर हम बोल सकते हैं कि this instrument is working as per the two parameters, that is voltage and current. So one coil which is supplied with the voltage value के साथ supply किया है, इसका मतलब क्या है, that coil is connected in parallel. Okay, and whereas series में अगर है तो that coil is in series, then we can say that it's a current component. So I hope यहाँ तक सभी को समझ में आ रहा है. Just type yes in the chat box. It's a revision. It's a part of a revision. So moving ahead with this, then we have energy meter. Energy meter also has a type called as a induction type. Okay, induction type energy meter. So we have seen single phase, three phase induction type energy meter. Now what is the new thing in this type of instrument? That amount of torque which is produced on the disc is due to the induction effect. Now what do you mean by induction effect? The amount of induction effect is related with the time also, because the current component and voltage component is causing the disk to rotate, and when the disk is rotating, it has some limitation of time. ये कितना समय तक रोटेट कर सकती है, या अगर इतना समय रोटेट कर रही है, इसका मतलब है हमें उसे कैलकुलेट करना है. ओके, एंड वंस वी आर कैलकुलेटिंग इट, वी विल बी गेटिंग द टाइम कंपोनेंट, एंड वंस वी गेट द टाइम कंपोनेंट, we can have this particular parameter called as energy. So we have power, that is voltage and current with us, and also we are getting the amount of time. So we are getting the value of energy. Similarly, where the time component is considered with the rotation of a disk in the induction type energy meter, whereas in the digital energy meter we have seen there is a clock pulse. Okay, and that clock pulse is basically giving you the time component, which is associated with the amount of power which is being consumed over the period of time. Say for example, 1 kilowatt of electric power is consumed for 1 hour, then it's considered as 1 unit of electrical energy. So whatever bill which is coming to you from electricity distribution company, that is not your electricity or electricity power bill, it's your electricity energy bill. तो ये यहाँ तक आप सभी को क्लियर होना चाहिए. That is my expectation from you. After that, we have seen that principles and operations of construction, three-phase power factor meter. Now, how we are going to define the power factor? Say, for example, there is a lag or lead condition as per the circuit components, induction and capacitance. Okay, so accordingly, that we will be having this Lipman type and dynamometer type three-phase power factor meter construction. Okay, and this is how we are covering with the second chapter. Now third chapter is related with the measurement of the physical parameters, or we can say that physical components with respect to your electrical component, electrical parameters में अगर हमें convert करना है physical parameters को, then these processes, these instruments, what we should look for. Because if we talk about the electrical quantity, then we can say that it is a current or a voltage. Okay, so that quantity is accessible, that quantity can be manipulated, quantity can be used with the electrical circuit. But this kind of physical quantities like temperature, flow, pressure, length, these all the parameters we need to convert into the electrical parameters, so that we will be getting the its accuracy. So I hope यहाँ तक सभी को समझ में आया है. आगे बढ़ते हैं at how we have seen the measurement of temperature, flow and pressure. So I hope you are listening this and just type revision in the chat box. Perfect, perfect. Okay. So now in the third chapter we have seen that measurement of temperature. So we are having different instruments for that, where electrical concepts are used. One is that uh, temperature is like a source, it's coming from the source of a heat, where heat is being transferred from the high temperature to the low temperature. So we can say while measuring also there is a transfer of heat happening, but that is a very small quantity, and we are detecting that small quantity of heat transfer during the temperature measurement. Okay, so now if we talk about this particular method, that is resistance temperature detector, where temperature is considered for its effect on resistance value, then we will be getting the equivalent change in the resistance due to the change in temperature. Then we have thermistors and thermocouple thermometers, where we can use the direct contact type or indirect contact type temperature measurement instruments. Then we have seen the radiation and optical pyrometers, where we can just adjust the flame, and the pyrometer concept is basically different because it gives a color, and its colors के साथ वो flame को अगर हम मैच करते हैं, इसका टेम्परेचर काफ़ी ज़्यादा होता है, तो उस समय पे आपको पायरोमीटर्स का बेसिकली इस्तेमाल होता है. तो इट्स नॉट रिलेटेड विद द एनी अदर टाइप ऑफ टेम्परेचर मेजरमेंट, but mostly it is related with the flame. Okay, सो आई होप यहाँ तक क्लियर हुआ आपको. आगे जाते हैं. मेजरमेंट ऑफ फ्लो. फ्लो ऑफ एनी लिक्विड और फ्लूइड is considered here, and that can be converted into your electrical quantities. Now why I'm repeating this point, that we required these physical quantities to convert it into the electrical quantity. Now why it is required? Because we have a circuit mechanism in which we can control the electrical parameters. We cannot control the physical parameters. Yes, definitely with the use of electrical parameters only we can change the physical parameters. Okay, so these all are very important things. After that, in the measurement of flow, we have a very basic technique called as differential pressure measurement. Now what do you mean by that? So if there is a flow, you can observe that without the difference in the pressure from the starting end and the रिसीविंग एंड, ये दोनों स्टार्ट और एंड के बीच में अगर प्रेशर डिफरेंस नहीं है तो आपका फ्लो जो है वो होगा नहीं. अगर ये प्रेशर का डिफरेंस बहुत ज्यादा है. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव बीन टू द वाटरफॉल? कितने लोग वाटरफॉल को गए, विजिट किए? जस्ट टाइप यस इन द चैट बॉक्स और जस्ट टाइप वाटरफॉल इन द चैट बॉक्स. सो दीज वाटरफॉल लोकेशन यू कैन सी दैट पानी वही है, बट सिर्फ वो बहुत ज्यादा ऊंचाई से आता है, ज्यादा प्रेशर से आता है. सो व्हेन देयर इज अ फ्लो हैपेंस, स्टार्टिंग में फ्लो जो होता है वो ज्यादा होता है, और जब वो रिसीव होता है नीचे वहां पे उसका जो प्रेशर है वो कम होता है. तो अगर हमने ऐसा ही कुछ कंडीशन हमारे फ्लो के बीच में ये अगर ऐड कर दिया तो हमें डिफरेंस इन द प्रेशर पता चलेगा, और हम प्रेशर के डिफरेंस के साथ साथ वो फ्लो का भी मेजर कर सकते हैं. ओके, सो आगे बढ़ते हैं. ऑरिफिस प्लेट, वेंचुरी ट्यूब, फ्लो नोजल, पिटॉट ट्यूब, रोटोमीटर, एल्बोमीटर, electromagnetic flow meter, ultrasonic flow meter, and hot wire anemometer. So these are the different types of flow measurement instruments. Now you should not get confused with the liquid of fluid like a water only. There are variety of fluids which is flowing, like from the water to the different types of chemicals, from the oil, from the fossil fuel, from the poisonous materials. Okay, so all the things which are there, which are in a position that they can go from one place to another place by having a difference in the pressure from starting and end, then we can say that there is a flow, and that flow can be measured with the help of these instruments. Now next, last one is measurement of pressure. Pressure is like creating an impact or a force on that particular device surface, or that pressure which is happening on the particular surface area, and we are going to measure that pressure. Okay, so now pressure is related with the volume also. So if the volume is more and you have a confined space, then you can have a pressurized vessel kind of mechanism there. So how we are going to measure that pressure? So we first identify that there are two types of pressure. One is called as a positive pressure, one is called as a negative pressure. So if you talk about the positive pressure, it's like you have a more volume of the material stored in the lesser or a lower volume of space. Okay, so this is a one point. Second point is that if you talk about the positive pressure, it's expansion. Okay, and if you talk about the vacuum, then there is a negative pressure. So I hope यहाँ तक आपको समझ में आया है. Instruments which are used for pressure measurements like diaphragm, bellows, Bourdon tube, and these instruments are useful for positive expansion. तो अगर हमने प्रेशर को अप्लाई किया है तो वो प्रेशर के अकॉर्डिंग हमारे इंस्ट्रूमेंट में लगे हुए जो मैकेनिज्म है उसके ऊपर उसका इफेक्ट जो है वो दिखाई देता है, और जब वो हम इफेक्ट को मेजर करते हैं तो हम उसे इलेक्ट्रिकल क्वांटिटी में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. सो दिस इज अ वेरी बेसिक प्रोसेस ऑफ प्रेशर मेजरमेंट. ओके, सो आई होप यहाँ तक सभी को क्लियर है. दिस इज हाउ वी आर एंडेड विथ आवर section 1. So now we are going to start with the section 2. And are you all ready to learn the very new and exciting concepts of section 2, that is instrumentation. So just type ready in the chat box if you are ready to learn about it.